Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. It is Saturday the 29th of February, doesn't come around very often, so it is a leap year shave today, and it'll be my first leap year shave since I started traditional wet shaving. Now I was tagged, I think it was yesterday, by I Am CDB, Christopher Bailey, over in the States, in a second chance, or giving a soap a second go, something you probably didn't like or something you struggle with, or for whatever reason giving it a second chance. Now the soap that I've chosen today, you probably know from the, actually I'm not even going to put it in the title, so you'll know when I show you it now, because there'll be no pictures, nothing at all, other than my Instagram. But the soap I'm going to use is Australian Private Reserve Coolabah. Now the reason I've chosen this is Australian Private Reserve is owned and operated by Dan Bushmore in Australia. Australian company, all handmade scents created by Dan. The soap base in this one is his original, or his first iteration, which was made by a gentleman on Paste and Cut, which is a forum over here in Australia. And he then moved from him, he pretty much just dropped him and moved on to another fella named Nick Barriga, who made the V2, which I never got to try, but by all means was meant to be a great base. And he's now, I think he's dropped Nick, and now he just basically does collaborations with other companies over in the States and all around the place. So they make the soaps, he designs the scent, makes the splash, and then they sell them as a set. Now there's been a lot of talk about Dan Bushmore on all the different forums and stuff. I've read a bit about it, I've seen a lot about it, I've heard a lot about it, and part of that process, now this was sent to me from Dan. He sent me a couple of soaps and a couple of splashes, which was awesome, really kind of him. He didn't have to do that. I reviewed them very favourably, and I do love this. I've kept this in the den, it's the only one I've got left, and it's basically, it's not Creed Aventus, it's a scent that accompanies Creed Aventus. It makes Creed Aventus better. You know, you use this, you put the splash on, then you Creed Aventus afterwards, it all mixes together, it smells fantastic. This is pretty much like a straight pineapple menthol with a little bit of cologne through it. It's a wonderful scent in its own right. It's not meant to be Creed Aventus. If you bought this expecting it to be Creed Aventus, you're going to be disappointed. It does not smell like Creed Aventus. It is basically to go with it. It's something that you can use and then use Creed Aventus, or just stick with this. The scent lingers for a little while, not a massive amount of time, but it does. It's got menthol in the soap and it's got menthol in the splash. Now, there's a lot being said with Dan Bushmore online. He has upset quite a few people. He's very direct. I believe, from what I've been told and things, he's a lawyer over here in the Eastern States. I don't know the guy really personally. But essentially, I made my mind up on Australia Private Reserve not to showcase it on the channel anymore, not to put it on Instagram, not to put it on Facebook, which is a shame because it's such good soap. Now this soap is made by someone that's not even really anything to do with Australian Private Reserve, just makes the soap. Obviously the scent, I like the scent. I like the scent of the other one I had, Bay City Rum as well, which I sent over to, I think I sent that one, did I send that to Johan? I can't remember, I sent it to someone. I piffed it. And look, basically this is, everyone deserves a second chance, everyone makes mistakes. People make mistakes way more than they should, you know, in terms of the same mistakes over and over again. It's clear that Dan's passionate about his hobby and really wants to do the best he can with it. He probably does and says the wrong things to people every now and then, and I'm sure we've all been guilty of that at some point. I mean, surely you've got to learn from your mistakes eventually, otherwise it will bite you in the ass eventually. Now, it's a pretty hard soap. I was going to soak it, but I decided not to because the lather's so easy anyway. So the brush for today is my Turn and Shave from Milton. I love this brush. There's a coin on the bottom, and this has got a 26mm quarter moon knot. This really is probably the best synthetic knot that I've used, and I've got some crackers. I will be going back to Milton eventually to grab some more brushes from him, but the whole plan is now, because of the amount of brushes I have, I'll be getting rid of some, get rid of one to get another one, or two to get one in, that sort of thing. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm trying to reduce the brushes to having just a set of brushes I absolutely love and I wouldn't want to change, which is very hard because new things come out, nicer things come out, and unfortunately the way the world is and the way I am at the moment, I am trying to change my mindset, but I am quite, unfortunately, quite materialistic, which is shit. It honestly is shit. freaking hate it, but it's something I need to speak to someone about and try and break that habit, to be honest with you. Right, I'm going to wet my face. So yeah, those of you out there in the wet shaving community, you'll know, I think he had a big, Dan Bushmore had a big sort of thing with tallow and steel, I think it was, over in Canada. I think it was tallow and steel. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was. When he released the Coca-Cola scented soap, I can't, Formula 95 or whatever, I can't remember what it was called exactly, but when he released that, and then it started off a big thing, and it was something my mum's taught me, and something that I learned from my grandparents as well, was if you've not got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, and it really does makes life a little bit easier, you know. Sometimes you just don't have to say anything. Sometimes you do, sometimes you have to say things that aren't nice, but it's going to hurt people's feelings that have to be said if it endangers yourself or someone else, you know. Sometimes you've got to open your mouth and speak and say something just to get the point across. But sometimes you just don't have to say anything. I think that soap in general, the Coca-Cola soap that Tallow and Steel did, I think the scent was absolutely brilliant from what I heard. I never tried it, but there were so many people had a reaction to it. I think it was sort of unanimously a bit of a failure, really. And nothing really had to be said by anyone else about it, because it spoke for itself, and the people that bought it spoke for it. But I don't hear much about it now. Maybe it's found all its homes that will work in and everyone's happy now. Yeah, he touched a few nerves and upset a few people along the way, did old Dan. And like I said, I made sort of a more of an informed decision as to how I wanted to follow through with Australian Private Reserve, and probably read into things maybe just a little bit too much. At the end of the day, it's a hobby, and these guys are trying to make a living. And there's no doubt about that. You should be trying to help yourself make a living rather than creating enemies or making things more difficult for yourself. If you don't believe in something that someone else is doing, you don't have to say anything about it. Just let them ruin it for themselves, really. The thing is, there's people out there, there's artisans out there will make soaps using scented oils and stuff like that, fragrance oils that aren't good for your skin or that do generally cause reactions. I mean, look at that for just a load. It's going to do the tips. It's going to be a pretty long video, but I don't really care. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm trying to spend a little bit more time up on my leg now. I've got the waterproof dressings, they've all been taken off this morning. I'm not wearing the stocking anymore, I'm just letting my leg sort of try and heal itself. I feel that menthol, it's lovely. Just a nice amount of menthol on this. Now the scent strength on this one's around about a 5, I would say, and it's a really nice pineapple-y, light cologne scent. There's not much cologne, it is quite sweet and fruity, it is almost gourmand. But I tell you what, it really does work well with the Ventus Mont Blanc Explorer, Club de Nuit Intense from Armagh. It works really well with all those scents. I mean, it's funny really. Creed Ventus, absolutely love it. I love the scent of it, I really do. But my favourite out of all of them is the Armagh Club de Nuit Intense. It lasts longer on my skin. I actually prefer the scent overall from start to finish. Maybe not so much the lemon start. I do like the pineapple from the Ventus, but it's a beautiful scent and it lasts for ages. And believe it or not, I get way more compliments from Club de Nuit Intense than I do from Creed Ventus. And that says it all really. And I know that because certain people that compliment me on it every time I wear it, because they absolutely love it. But when I wear Creed Ventus and I walk past the same people, they don't really notice. This is going to need a lot more water. My other thing I was going to do for the second chance thing that I was tagged in was to try and get some some K-Shave Works back in the den and see whether I react to it again. Because I lost one of my favourite soaps to an allergic reaction which just came out of the blue. To Grapelicious. K-Shave Works, I still recommend the soaps because the soap is brilliant. It lathers really easily. The scents are brilliant, really nice scents. But they use synthetic fragrances in a lot of the scents, especially like Grapelicious. It just didn't work for my skin. So Australian Private Reserve will return on the den now, on the channel. It will get its second chance. I haven't really heard much coming out of anywhere against Australian Private Reserve of late. I don't know whether things have changed. I don't know whether Dan's taken a backward step from all the conflict. It wasn't really, look at this. I mean, and this is the old formula. Absolutely superb. Where's my razor? Oh, where is it? It's in here. I left it in the sink. The Carve Christopher Bradley razor, aluminium, B-plate again, and I've got the Gillette Super Thin in here again from Thailand. I had a good shave with it last time. I had a couple of quite good weepers. They sort of hung around, and then I had a bit of redness and irritation at the bottom of my lip afterwards. So I'm going to see how it goes in the second shave, and if I get the same again, I'll try it in the leaf for my head, and if it's no good for that, I might just start piffing them with stuff when I give stuff away and sell stuff. So here we go. I've got 2 days growth. Look at that. So I have still been using this silk, but generally, well, it's only been used off camera. Actually, that's a lie. I did use it in my recent supersonic head shave. But you wouldn't have known because I didn't put it on the video. If you do go back and watch that, or you ever watch that head shave, it's only 43 seconds long, I think. You can see how easily it lathers. Now I've got to tag some more people in this, so I'm going to tag two, same as Christopher, I am CDB tagged. They tagged myself and Manny from SoCal Shave. So I'm going to tag Johan over at Shave and Butcher. And Jack over at the virtual groom room. It'll be interesting to see certainly what Jack's second chance will be, because I'm not quite sure really whether he's had stuff that he didn't really like, and then I don't know. Like I say, it could be anything. I've just took a bit of a curveball approach with it. Nice cooling menthol. I mean, I love the scent of pineapple anyway. I do enjoy eating pineapple, but it burns my mouth, and obviously that's to do with the... what's it called? I can't remember the name of it now. There is something in pineapple that tenderises meat, actually sort of corrodes meat, whatever you call it. Just can't for the life of me think what it's called now. God, look at this. Seriously, what a cracking ladder. It's a bit bubbly in there, but you'll see in a minute that it won't be when I'm done. It's just such good soap, and I love this scent. I've already got weepers down here. I'm struggling to keep up with IMCEB at the moment. He's putting out more videos than I can put out, which is quite impressive. I mean, considering I've got a dodgy leg and recover from a broken arm and everything. Yeah, I just can't keep up with him. I'll just do cross screen first. I'm doing really sort of a really gentle touch with this razor, and it's a very light razor to begin with. But with this blade in it, I'm even lighter. The residual slickness is excellent as well. It's not quite the best. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't even say it's as good as Mitchell's Wolfart, but it's certainly got very high quality residual slickness as well. But you'd be hard pressed, I mean that's the third ladder now, you'd be hard pressed to find a soap that just blooms and smashes out the ladder like that. It's just brilliant. That's a really, really light touch. I'm just barely touching my skin with the guard. very, very smooth. I'm definitely lighter this time around with this razor than I was the last time, or 2 days ago when I used it. The blade, not the razor, I suppose, it's just the blade I'm trying to keep the light touch with. I can definitely feel the difference when I push too hard with this blade. Right. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to touch up round the lips. 21 minutes, that's not too bad. I thought I'd have been waffling on a lot of shit, but done okay. Still waffled a lot of shit, but yeah, see, look. 3 weepers there, there's another one over here. 5 or 6 against the grain. These blades just aren't for me. Certainly looks like I've done a better job around the lips this time. I'm saying they're not for me. They feel fantastic, they feel smooth, they feel comfortable, they feel sharp. But there's obviously something with this blade that just likes to cut the tips off my follicles where the hair comes out, whatever you want to call it. Even against the grain here, when I'm using the ruby blade, beautiful, hardly get any weepers with the ruby. Probably jinxed it. Now, excuse me, probably jinxed it now, but hardly get any weepers with the rubies. I would say overall that was a better shave than what I got last time with the super thin. They're certainly sharp. If you like a sharp blade, like a feather, these are really up there with feathers, definitely in terms of the sharpness and the edge they've got on them. They are just they're not rough like a feather. A feather can feel a bit rough sometimes. These aren't like that, they just peel through the hair, very smooth, very comfortable. But I do get because I've got a little one there, just rinsing the brush out, get all this soap out. Now this knot tends to hold on to lather, loves to hold on to it. So I've just got to make sure you give it a good rinse out. Give it a good shake. Right now, there's still soap in the knot. Now the knot, I'm going to flick it and show you, it looks pretty good. Every knot will make a bit of noise, but when you hear this amount of noise, there's too much soap still in the knot. So I'll tackle it again with warm water. You've got to use warm water, you can't use cold, because of all the oils and the fats in these high quality artisan soaps. You need to use the warmer water to sort of break it down and let it deteriorate so you can get it out of the knot. There's still a noise because these crinkle cut fibres make a noise anyway, but you could hear the well, I'm hoping you could hear the difference. Flick it out, dry the handle, flick the tips on the towel like that. You can be a lot more robust and a lot tougher on a synthetic knot. They just take a beating, no problem. And there you go. That looks like the day that I opened it from Milton when he sent it over to me. Perfect. Right, how are we doing weeper wise? Not too bad, quite happy with that. I've not got really anything. It looks like it's going to linger around for days and days. Got one here, there's a couple, 2 or 3 here, there's a few there, and the one right there. But overall, cracking shave. The soap is phenomenal. Now, splash, exceptional splash as well. It is a little bit oily. I like to use a lot of it because it smells fantastic, but it's a little bit oily. So you generally have to just take the hit. It will absorb eventually, your skin will feel quite tacky for a while. Do you know something? If they made a gin like this, that would make one a phenomenal drink. It's just a great scent, so good splash of that. There is alcohol in this, and to be fair, there's hardly any burn. A little bit here, not even down here where I've got all them weepers, so I can feel that already. And this has got menthol in it. You don't feel the menthol straight away. Here it comes now. It's not an instantaneous feeling, the menthol in this one. It's a nice build up. And then, as per usual with most of these artisans, they seem to put in pretty much the perfect amount of menthol, and it will work for most people. Will be happy with this amount of menthol. Some people obviously are allergic to it, some people don't like it at all, they don't like that cooling feeling. But I tell you what, when it's 35 degrees outside and it's hot and it's humid, when you whack a bit of menthol on, even when your body's hot, it keeps your face cool, which then makes you feel cool. Works really, really well. And that is me done and dusted. So my second chance today went to Australian Private Reserve, Coolabah. Not a real legitimate second chance in a sense, because I've been using this off camera, but I'm giving them the second chance, the benefit of the doubt, to get them back out in the open and show people how good their products are, because at the end of the day, they are quality shaving soaps and splashes, there's no doubt about it. I really love the scent on this. I love it. It's not Aventus, don't buy it expecting it to be Aventus if you can get hold of it in a buy-sell trade or something like that. I don't think you can buy this anymore, and I don't know whether he's going to release it anymore, but don't expect Aventus. Expect something that will accompany Aventus and make Aventus stand out more whenever you put it on afterwards, or whether it's Club de Nuit Intense or Mont Blanc Explorer. This will partner with it beautifully. And like I say, it's a great soap. This soap base is phenomenal. The V2 looked phenomenal. I never got to use it. I've never got to use the V2, which was made by Nick Barriga, but by all accounts was brilliant and apparently better than this one, which is exceptional if it is. And now they do collaborations all the time. The brush was my turn and shave 26mm quarter moon knot, which, as I just showed you there, it looks as good as the day I bought it. It really does. Just a stunning knot. Beautiful handle. Milton's handles come like, there's not a single striation or scratch mark on these handles. They're absolutely impeccable when you get them. This coin, I wish he did a silver coin. I'm not a fan of brass or gold, but it is a nice coin. He's an awesome bloke to deal with. I don't know whether he's taking custom orders at the moment, but if you can get a custom from him, he's one of the best in the business. He's up there with your Wolf Whiskers and Envy Shaves and Dogwood and Grizzly Bay, you know, all those guys, that darn rogue. He's up there with all of them. He's absolutely superb to deal with, and he makes beautiful brushes. The razor, there's nothing more, obviously nothing more I can say about the Carve. It's the only DE razor I'll use now, I think. Until I want to try a Game Changer eventually, whenever finances settle, whenever I can get hold of one, I will try them. Hopefully I can get hold of both plates, the 0.68 and the 0.84, and give them a go. But how far away that's going to be, I don't know. But this is the only DE that I've got in the deck now. This one and my stainless one's on the way back from someone that I loaned it to. And yeah, it's just brilliant. It's nice and light. You adjust the pressure, you deal with the pressure. Let's say, I think there's a couple of little bits on here where the plating's coming off. I've already spoken with Carve, and if that is so, I'm going to send some photographs through, and they are going to send me replacement parts. If you get the same problem, contact them. Honestly, don't let it hang around and put it in the drawer because you're not happy something's peeled off. They're expensive. I know these are only $100 compared to the stainless, $100 Canadian, but they're still expensive. It is an investment for life, really. These things should be lasting life, and they should be staying in really good condition for a long time. So it's just contact them. They'll get back in touch with you. The customer service is excellent. They are very, very busy with customer service. They get inundated with emails and messages, so sometimes it takes a little while. Rest assured they will get back to you. I don't have any grievances now with the customer services, but obviously I don't deal with it too much myself. I'm in quite close contact with Jack, who runs most of it, and Chris as well every now and then when I send them a message. And finished off with Coolabah from Australian Private Reserve. You can see I've used quite a bit of this now. I love it, absolutely love it. That scent is phenomenal. The menthol kick is beautiful. It's just pure summer and sex in a bottle. It's fucking brilliant, really good stuff. And with that, I hope you enjoyed that. That was my second chance. Australian Private Reserve getting a second go on the channel. They'll sit around until something else major happens. One more thing I just want to point out, which annoys me while I'm here. The label. You see the black there? And there's no black there. The label's off centre, does my tits in. And you can actually see from this side, or maybe you can't, I might not be able. Can you see that there? Where the label just sticks over the side here, right at this point. See it? Just here. So it's actually hanging over the edge. And those little things get to me with my, I would say, minor OCD. I do have a bit of OCD, I believe. I've got something wrong with me with regards to things like that. I like things to be central, or as close to centred as they can be. And that sort of annoys me. And I think, as much as I love the aftershave, I think the bottles and the label on the front of that just looks a bit cheap and tacky. I'm not saying that's what everything's like, but I mean, that's the ingredients list around that label. Now, with my contacts in, it's almost unreadable. It's readable, the letters are clear, you can see them, but it's so small you have to strain. And my eyesight with my contacts in as they are now are spot on, so that's how bad that is as well. It's not the best of labels, not the best of bottles, but it works. At least it's got a stopper in it, so you're not pouring your aftershave all over the place and making a mess. It's very easy to use, it's comfortable to hold, but yeah, just little things like that. And with that, stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. And Jack and Johan, it's over to you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.